Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some source material about something called Neuro Energizer. Our mission here is really to unpack what this material is actually describing. What is it? How does it supposedly work? And what can we learn just from how it's presented in the source?
Right, and the source itself presents this quite specifically. It's framed as a way to boost your brain's potential, help you hit your goals. So we're going to stick just to the details and the claims that are right there in this source material. See what perspective it offers.
Okay, let's get into it then. The source describes Neuro Energizer as a, wait for it,
Yeah.
revolutionary brain-boosting audio track.
Hmm.
And here's where it gets, well, really interesting according to the source's claims. It apparently works by harnessing theta brainwaves while calming down those stress-inducing beta waves.
Yeah, what's fascinating there is the focus on that specific mechanism, influencing these particular brainwave states. The source suggests that by doing this, the process actually rewires your brain. That's the phrase they use, promoting focus, clarity, and, well, success.
Right? Rewires your brain.
Yeah.
And the source even uses this analogy, like the effortless learning you had as a kid,
Yeah.
suggesting it gets you back to that sort of natural flowing state for your thinking.
Exactly. It's not just presented as a temporary feeling, but implies a more fundamental shift, that it can genuinely rewire things to unlock your abilities naturally. Now, this idea of rewiring, it often brings up concepts like neuroplasticity, the brain changing. But the source here really hones in on achieving this through audio, influencing theta waves, often linked to relaxation, learning, creativity, versus beta waves, which are more about alertness, focus, but also, yeah, stress.
And the claims in the source, they don't stop at just internal feelings. According to this material, it helps you achieve goals, attract positive opportunities effortlessly. That seems like a big jump.
It really does position it beyond just an internal mental tool. It suggests it can influence things outside yourself. The source presents this quite confidently, actually. It claims Neuro Energizer has a proven track record of transforming lives, and that it's a scientifically backed tool. They even mention multiple five-star verified purchase ratings as part of their evidence.
Okay, so the source is definitely using those specific phrases, proven track record, scientifically backed, and pointing to reviews. That's the basis within the source for its claims about transformation and effectiveness. Just want to be clear, that's what the source itself says.
Precisely. The source is building its case using those exact terms and those specific kinds of validation that it provides.
The source material also talks about extra stuff you get with it, bonus guides they call them. And these guides, again, according to the source, are meant to enhance brain power further, help maintain mental energy, build successful habits, optimize performance using proven techniques.
Yeah, including those bonuses suggests they're presented as, like, complementary tools, meant to support the bigger goals that the source claims Neuro Energizer helps you reach. So it links habit formation and performance stuff back to the main audio track.
And significantly, I think, the source material actually anticipates a bunch of questions people might have, which kind of gives us a window into what the creators expect users to be curious or maybe concerned about.
Yes, absolutely. The source lists questions like, the basics. How does it fundamentally work? When might you see results? Is it totally safe? And then it gets broader. Can it really help with abstract things like luck and opportunities? Does it work for everyone, no matter who they are? And even practical stuff like, can you use it while you're driving?
Yeah.
Or doing, like, physical activity.
Yeah, that last one, driving or physical activity. That
Yeah.
definitely makes you think about real-world safety, especially with something claiming to change your brain state, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the sheer range of questions the source decides to tackle up front, from the core mechanism and the science claims to these big ideas about success and safety and whether it works for everyone, and the practical use cases. It really highlights all the different layers you need to consider when looking at what the source claims about this program.
So wrapping up what we've seen just within this source material, we've done a deep dive into Neuro Energizer, described in the source as an audio track, using brainwaves for focus, success, opportunities. The source makes claims about transformation, says it's scientifically backed, points to reviews, and includes bonus materials while also tackling anticipated questions about how it works, safety, and just how effective it is overall.
Which brings us to a final thought, really a question for you listening. Given how the source presents all this claiming influence over both your inner thoughts and your external life through brainwave tech, what specific aspects of how it's presented really stand out to you? Is it the scientific language they use, the kind of results they promise, or maybe the practical questions they chose to answer? What part of this presentation sparks the most curiosity or maybe even raises more questions in your own mind?